Hello everybody, and welcome to the 93rd Hammer tutorial. Today we're going to be adding fog to a level. This will work for any Source Engine game. I've just opted to do it in my Portal 2 level. Fog can add a whole new level of depth to your world. It can add more planes to make it look larger or smaller depending on what you want. So in Portal 2, if you've ever played it, you'll see these major vistas that are huge and seem like they go on forever, but they're really small, in fact. So today we're just going to go ahead and create some fog, and it's up to it. It's really simple. So first, grab your entity tool and place a new entity. You can do this anywhere. And we want it to be a NV fog controller. Now you can have multiple fog controllers. You can switch between them, but you can only have one active at a time. So we're going to go ahead and double click this, and under flags there's one flag that's super easy. This is the master. So if there's more than one, this one will have priority over all of the other NV fog controllers, so that way it will start active and such. So we have a couple settings that are actually used a lot. We have fog enabled. Yes, you want to do that. Fog blend. You can blend two fog colors together, and I'll do that just to show you guys what it's like. So you need to get your primary fog direction now. So you need to do another entity, so I know which way 0 is. So 0 is that way, and I'm just gonna make my primary fog color 0 that way. So my primary fog is going to be kind of a bluish color, a darker blue. And my second one, just to make things obviously different, is going to be a red, so we can see the transition between the two. And we want use angles for fog direction. Then yes. Okay. And now we have two other things. We have the fog start and the fog end. I'm going to do 0 and 3000. These are how many hammer units it is for the fog to reach full opacity. Now you also have max density. This is a value between 0 and 1. It can be a decimal, and this is how thick the fog will be at its max density. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that at 1 so it becomes full. It's useful for if you want a slight overlay of fog, but you still see everything, because if it's full, then you won't be able to see past it. We have the interpolate time. This is used from when you switch between them. Usually just leave it 0. And we have the far Z clip plane. This is left at -1, and leave this at -1 unless you really want to mess with it. What the Z clip does is it prevents anything from being drawn past that point. So if you set this to 500, anything past 500 units will not be drawn. I'm not going to do it because it's not super practical for me. But a useful thing about it is if you set it to just barely above your fog end, it'll stop rendering that stuff when the fog reaches its max opacity. So it renders it down. So if your level's really laggy and you suck at optimizing, that's a super good way to do it. So now I'm also going to show you guys how to change fog for just certain areas of the player. So I'm going to copy this fog controller. I'm going to set its fog down so we can see it working inside here. It needs to not be the master anymore. You can only have one. And we're going to name this inside fog. Then I don't want two fog. No. Okay. And this one's color is going to be green fog. Now you want to go ahead and browse for texture. Search, should be volume. Okay, if you can't find fog volume, for some reason Portal 2 doesn't have that texture. It doesn't really matter though. Just you can use trigger instead. You just go and grab trigger, and then make a volume inside your level of where you want the fog to be different. So I'm just going to have this little patch here be all fogged up. Then you make it a fog volume, And now you have a couple of options here. Start disabled, no. Name, yada yada yada. There are no flags. So just under the fog name, just pick up that fog controller. Hit apply. Close that. And now we're going to go ahead and compile our level. So we're going to go ahead and compile our level because we're done with that. So let's go ahead and, yep, go. Alright, I'll load up my game. Okay, so here we are inside of Portal. You can already see the fog on the outside. And when I turn, it changes colors. When I step into here, we get the super bright green light that is overpowering everything. I mean, the green fog. As soon as we step out, there we go, back to normal fog. Now, what the power of fog is, you may think that it looks stupid in here, but actually the green fog would make a really good radiation thing. But up here, the vista just looks amazing with fog in it, mainly the blue fog. So anyways, I hope this tutorial has helped you create fog for your levels. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.